Welcome, welcome to Journey Intuit's 32U D program. Today I'm going to present the 5 layers of shadow work that we dive into throughout the 32U D program. We will shine a light on the different layers, the collective unconscious, the social shadows, family shadows, our personal shadows, and the multidimensional shadows. We're going deep. So, are you ready? All right. But first, just a bit about me. I am Crystal J. Hemphill, creator of the 32UD program, a healing practitioner that specializes in shadow work. My journey into it began early in life. I was a bit lost. Yeah, I was completely lost, confused, and quite frankly, broken inside. I could not understand the whys and, the questions. Why am I this way? Why do I do this? Why must I feel this way? And so my quest began to discover myself and my truth. Come to find out, I had a lot to heal from. I had experienced early childhood sexual abuse, which led to selective mutism, as well as physical, mental, emotional abuse. I felt unworthy, unhappy, and I just knew there had to be more to life than that. Healing through those things was so hard, um, as it is going through our dark. It can be super tough. I discovered things about myself that I had never imagined. And it led to profound understanding and acceptance of myself. I emerged like the phoenix and hopped onto my path, aligned in my purpose, which brings us here today. Jung's psychology is fascinating, and learning about him and his philosophies actually helped me to understand what I had been doing throughout all of those years of healing. He said that whatever is rejected from the self appears in the world as an event. And until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And isn't that the truth? Fate is described as something happening beyond the person's control. And well, I knew there had to be something more to life than feeling down, anxious, and depressed, and feeling like I held the weight of the world on my shoulders. How I was feeling was because of what was hidden in my unconscious. It was showing up in my day to day life. See, what I didn't understand back then was that we really are in control of our experience, and the rate at which we vibrate will invite that into our experience. And well, hey, if you have a lot of unconscious programs running the show, that can lead to some really tough experiences and situations. We are creator beings at the core. So, the question I want you to begin to ask yourself is, what am I creating? And is my true self creating this, or is my shadow? Now, the big question here, and I'm sure you're thinking, what is the shadow? Well, the shadow is the pieces of us, maybe from an experience that we have pushed away and repressed and said, I don't like this part of me. Or somebody else said, you shouldn't be that way. And we disassociated from it. It created the shadow within. What is shadow work? It is the discovery and healing of those pieces. Basically, we are shining a light into the dark, or the unconscious. So, why do we do shadow work? What's so important about it? What are the benefits of it? So, when you begin to do shadow work, it leads to your healing, ultimate healing. So, we're talking on levels of the ability to let go of things that have caused you a great deal of pain. Understanding the unconscious parts of you that are running the show. And I will say, when you begin to dive deeply into those unconscious parts, you are going to be mind blown at the amount of things that will come up that you never would had imagined were actually kind of in control. Another thing is triggers lose their power over you. So when I say triggers, I'm talking about, have you ever been in an experience where you are questioning, why do I react this way? Why do I act this way? Why do I feel this way? Why does this person make me feel this way? Why does this certain situation, bring forth sadness or anger or whatever the case may be, whatever emotion that you can't seem to understand or can't seem to grasp a hold of? It's almost as if that particular emotion or experience is in control. Those are triggers. And when you begin to do shadow work and begin to see them from a grander perspective, they're totally going to lose power over you. Another beautiful, beautiful thing when doing shadow work is activating the higher heart. This is your navigation tool. This is you with clear direction and leading with that heart. And I'll go a little bit more into that on down. Feeling a sense of wholeness. Mm. And I don't know, that just felt good saying wholeness. So imagine how that feels to actually embody that, to actually feel yourself saying, man, I feel whole. I feel complete. I feel fulfilled. This is what shadow work does for you. Better relationship with yourself and others. I know how extremely tough we can be on ourselves. And that too can lead to that projection of being so tough on others. So it does, it expands your relationships with yourself and others. It opens your mind for expansion. Yes, yes, yes. Your curiosity to learn even more. It opens your heart for leading the way in your path and your purpose, which goes hand in hand with that higher heart activation. It puts you in a mentality knowing that you have no limits placed upon you. You are limitless. So, no limits to the consciousness and what like to call the ripple effect, seeing the effects in day-to-day life. What you feel within is what you experience on the outside in your experience. Joy, peace, and ushering in so much more love. And we could all use a little bit more of that. Expansion of who you are. You have the opportunity to see you for who you truly are, standing in the light and tapping into all, and I mean all, of the greatness that is within you. Self discovery, holding a deeper understanding and connection to yourself, and aligning with the best version of you possible. All right, so let's talk about some of these collective shadows. So we have archetypes. These are the qualities that are present in all of us, where the ego has rejected the personality, the actions, the experience, etc. Some of the examples of the archetypes are mother, father, trickster, magician, hero, damsel, sage, the healer, warrior, ruler. These are just a few. There are numerous amounts of archetypes. The shadow side of all archetypes is the unconscious part of the psyche. So, collectively, they are the personified characters of good and evil. Personally, I feel morality plays a big role in the collective shadow. Your vision of what the great mother is, or the perfect man, or the trickster that actually taught you a lesson but is very, very, very bad. The damsel that should just get up and do it herself. All these that are misinterpreted by our programmed mind of what is right and wrong. Collisions of the inner and outer world, one could say. So then we have in the collective shadows astrology, collective ideas by the stars, predicting the collective mind, downloading the myth of the collective mind. In other words, how you are supposed to be. Bum, bum, bum. So we work on that too. All right, so we are one. These are shadows we all share as a collective. As you heal, this is very big. As you heal, you open up a gateway for the other yous to heal. It is as a ripple effect throughout the cosmos. Very, very powerful. All right, and then we have our social shadows. This leading into this, the social shadows, the social conditioning, what you are trained to think, feel, act upon, say, want, and react to, what you desire, your education, the career you choose, the role you play in life. I just want to say here there are no limits to the conscious mind until it comes up against what is in the unconscious. Ooh, now let that sink in for a moment. There are no limits to the conscious mind until it comes up against what is in the unconscious. So, we're also talking about within the social shadows, the persona, the mask you might actually wear in front of others. So, that goes in with social shadows here. We're talking about groups and cultures, religion, spirituality, our beliefs, our habits, our sexuality, honoring the body versus shaming it. Choices. Overall, how you experiment and experience life. The choices you make and your expansion. What is holding you back? What is in this social unconscious space? Hmm. All right, we're getting a bit deeper with the family and generational shadows. Some may call it breaking generational curses. So we have the mother and father dynamic, which can include your experience with them and others in your family, trauma from experiences accumulated throughout the years. Now, one might think trauma, as in I got beat type of trauma, but what about the other things that land on the minor scale, but they have such a huge impact in our development? Insecurities spawning from, oh, I don't know, disbelief or shame or embarrassment, being unsupported or even brushed off. Childhood trauma is deep wounds that it will have your inner child screaming and kicking and crying from that unconscious space, acting out and trying to run the show. Then we have our generational shadows, the family secrets, the habits that are passed down from mother to daughter or father to son or vice versa. This could range from negative thinking patterns to feelings of unworth to the poor mind mentality to abuse and so forth. And then let's see. So, when we're thinking about family and generational shadows, we also want to think about our children. So, I was wanting to say children and healing in the same sentence. So we want to think about our children. So healing within the lineage is powerful as you begin to shift things for your children and your children's children and so on. It truly is that concept of breaking those generational curses. And then we have the masculine and the feminine. So balancing the masculine and feminine energies. The perfect example or the best interpretation of a highly balanced masculine and feminine dynamic within, to me, would be said as leading with your heart with supportive action and clear direction. So we'll talk more about the masculine and the feminine in just a moment because I feel like it is very important and it is a huge part of the 32U. Balance achieved. Which brings us to, yes, the moment is now, the masculine and feminine energies, the great mother within the male, and the male, the great father within the female. The balancing act of ego versus self, the conscious and the unconscious, the left and right brain, the Euros and the Logos, the yin and the yang. Throughout the whole D program, we are working on a balancing act of all within. This is the key: balance, acceptance, creation. So, again, I want to ask you, what are you creating? And is it you, your true self creating, or is it your shadow? I am ready to assist you in the creation of what you want to experience because what has got you thus far is not the sum of who you are. You truly are limitless. And I think it's time to tap into that. Now, let's get more on the personal levels, the personal shadows. So here we have the personal shadows, and you can think of the personal shadows being the spots created within rather than outside of you. The parts of you that you disassociated from because a part of you, maybe ego, didn't like it. It's the threshold of consciousness. I didn't like the way I did that or how I felt or what I experienced. So you could say, well, never again. But what just happened is you repressed a part of yourself and thus became shadow. The personal shadows can happen in really tough experiences like physical and sexual abuse, to where there is not blame pointed at the other person in a sense, but the parts of you that led up to the event, like, how could I have trusted that person? Never again. Your sense of trust and humanity is now a shadow, saying, I will never trust anyone. I trusted, and in turn, I got hurt. There could be guilt and shame and even resentment tied up around that root. And this is just an example. And also, we're talking about limiting beliefs, just like that, or the beliefs you may have created over time unconsciously that says, I am too something. Too slow or too weak or too happy. Yes, I've seen and heard that before. Limited beliefs leading you to believe that you hold no value or that you are unworthy or that you are less than. Within the personal shadow is also energetic blocks, mental and emotional blocks, and the physical. All of these roots can manifest in the body as illness, diseases, and dis-ease. Dis-ease from a shadow worker's point of view is an imbalance within. The dis-ease being something within the mind, body, and soul that is not at ease. The parts of you that you have suppressed are rooted deep in your energetic structure. Those things long for healing and integration. So I ask, are you ready to heal them? All right. And these are things that we all share, the multidimensional shadows. So throughout the 32UD program, you may come to meet and experience your multidimensional self. And believe it or not, with that comes shadows as well. All right. So we are multidimensional beings. And with that comes the ability to heal all facets of you and me. We're talking about angels and spirit guides, each one of them being a fragment of you. Healing the inner you activates the ripple effect of healing all parts of you. Then we have the starseed group shadows, another aspect of you, of me, of us. So for example, this can be experienced trauma, the example being like the Lyran Wars, if you've ever heard of those. So these can be collective trauma that was accumulated during that timeline on a specific timeline with these certain groups or energetic signatures. We are one. In other words, you truly are healing all of yous. So, very interesting stuff. It opens up a deep understanding and connection with the truth of who you really are, ushering in this huge expansion. Since I began with wanting to know the fullest of myself, I have created this deprogram around that goal as well, to stretch you, to challenge you, to assist in your healing and opening up your heart and mind to your potential. So, now that we've gone through the layers of shadow work, let's talk more on the 32UD program. All right, so there is powers in the numbers. Power in the numbers. Number 3, it is the 32. And I chose these numbers for very specific reasons. Um, so, with the power of 3, we will work with your mind, body, and soul and journey into the past, the present, and yes, the future. Number 2, with the power of 2, we will work with your dark and light, bringing the unconscious into the conscious. So the power of 2 is really diving into those layers, unpacking those layers of the shadow work. And of course, 3 plus 2 equals that 5, 5 vibrating at radical change and transformation for you. This is a 5-week deprogram, the 5 layers of shadow work, 5 weeks of shining a light into the unconscious, and 5 modalities, healing modalities. I see what I did there. Just ignore it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. So, this is the new you, the true you, the 32 you. So, are you ready to experience what life could truly be like? Full of joy and peace and satisfaction and fulfillment and much, much, much more love. All right. So, I do a free consultation, commitment. Ding, ding, ding. The most important thing for me is to make sure you are ready and committed to you throughout this journey within. Therefore, I am offering a free consult for us to get to know each other better and to make sure that 32U is a right fit for you. All right. I do offer a split payment program. I personally would never want someone to miss out on this opportunity of healing and self discovery because of finances. Therefore, I do a split payment to make it more available. So, this could be half in the beginning and half at the midpoint, or split into 4 payments. Other arrangements can be made depending during our free consults. We can definitely talk about that. So the total price for the full weeks is $532, an exceptional value. All right, so what should you expect during the 32UD program? So you're going to have sessions and support. Support, support, support. I will be there with you, okay? Walking you through this process. So you have one session set up per week for the 5-week time. You should expect to release a lot in the session and after the session. Because of that fact, I am offering on-call support for the 5 weeks, especially for dream interpretation. So dreams are very, very, very important, and that is one of the biggest reasons I'm making myself available for the on-call support. When we begin to work in the unconscious, it will begin to speak, so to speak, and try to integrate. So, the symbolism in your dreams can hold powerful messages. And with the on call support, I will interpret these dreams to see what the unconscious is communicating. With that being said, if it takes us getting together and talking it through, or you shooting me a message with the details and me getting back to you with what I'm feeling about the dream, then that's how we'll do it. However, I can assist you in your healing and transformation. I'm going to do just that and be there for you each step of the way, as long as I'm awake, okay? I will get with you as soon as I can to discuss whatever may be coming up for you. And, this could be just some really big emotions coming to the surface that just need to be vented, okay? Also, I will be doing check ins with you as I do sometimes give homework or self work, and I will even do follow ups with you after the program. Some of the tools used are shadow work prompts. Yes, yes, yes. And inner child healing. We have some NLP and EFT. I love EFT. It really does get the emotions flowing. You may experience a Beyond Quantum Healing hypnosis and rewriting limited beliefs and soul contracts. You also get some bonus features here, okay? So I do whole heart energy activation and wisdom codes. This is energy healing with light language activations coming through. That will definitely be near the end. And also, you could potentially get a personalized digital encoded art piece. And we're going to talk about your goals, implementing changes moving forward into the 32U. And of course, you get to work with me. All right. So, again, we're going to recap. What are the benefits of this? What are the benefits of doing all of this? The 32UD program. The biggest being transformation within you. Boom. That sums it up right there. Transformation for you. Imagine your life, how it would be if you had that deeper understanding and connection with yourself. You have a clear vision, a clear direction with your higher heart activated, moving through life with this flow and energy that says, I am here to unveil my greatness. I mean, woo. So we're talking about ultimate healing again, letting go of those things that have caused you pain, understanding yourself, the depths of you, understanding those unconscious parts that are running the show. We're done with that. We're ready to evolve. We're ready to expand. Triggers losing their power over you. Imagine being able to sit in an experience or with an emotion that used to control you and being able to give a rather quirky smile at it and say, I understand you now. It's okay. Activating that higher heart for that direction and feeling that sense of wholeness. The deepening of your relationships with others and yourself. how your mind is going to expand, how your heart is going to lead in your purpose, knowing and tapping into your true potential, knowing that you are limitless, and knowing that you are going to see these effects ripple out into your day to day experience, ushering in the joy, the happiness, the peace, the serenity, the calming effect, and much more love. Oneness also comes to mind here as well. Knowing that you are me and I am you. And that right there is huge. It's major. So, expansion of who you are, you have the opportunity to see you for who you truly are, standing in your light and tapping into all of your greatness within. You're going to be on this journey of self discovery, holding a deeper understanding and connection to yourself as you align with the best, highest version of you. All right. So, if you are interested in setting up a free consultation for the 32U deprogram, my email address is journeyintuit@gmail.com. My website address is journeyintuit.com. And also, you can find me on social media. So, I just want to thank you guys for your ongoing support. Don't forget to follow me on social media. And if you're watching here on YouTube, please subscribe. And I can't wait to start this journey with you guys. So until next time, with much love, Crystal.